software to help us design it.
Yay!
Hi guys, welcome back to Barker-Stargazer's crafting, mainly crochet channel, and as you can see from that wonderful acting performance at the beginning, that we're going to be making a crochet wig hat for twin 1. Now I've already done this for twin 2 and a lot of the principles are going to be the same, but we're just going to go through a bit more of the design process this time, and we are going to attempt to use AI software to help us generate the image. I have tried multiple free sites with various degrees of results. Yes. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you these AI software programs that I used. So I tried to put in the same design prompt for each one, which was basically crochet wig hat or beanie in blue with a miraculous ladybug theme, because my daughter quite likes that, and trying to gear the programs towards more anime style. And I'm afraid that I just couldn't really see anything that I liked. Even that program that I used after I'd done the toucan pattern to see what I could generate, that one didn't really show much results either. So we've settled on this design, and I'll show you my sketched out version and we will go from there. Alright, I'd like to just mention something else before we go on. I've been getting a few comments that my editing needs some work and my sound needs some work. I am very much aware of all this. It's like we are just ticking over me being on YouTube for a year now, and unfortunately I don't have a studio. As you can see, I'm just in front of a wardrobe here, and if I'm not here, I'm in our downstairs living room. So unfortunately my areas are quite big at the moment. It is something I'm trying to look at for sound quality and for lighting, as I'm sure you can see a ring light reflected in my glasses here. These are things I am aware of, and I'm trying to work on them, so please just bear with me, and hopefully as I go on I'll get more skilled on it. So here's the sketch I've done from that final AI image that we were happy with. I say we, it's more twin 1, as this is her hat. So I have put some fringe details on here, but I'm not sure if they're going to get incorporated into the last piece. We're going to have to see how it looks. We've gone for almost a Sailor Moon style hairstyle with the meatball heads and the spaghetti hair, although that will be plaited. It's all in blue because twin 1 is obsessed with Miraculous Ladybug, and Marinette, the main character there, does have blue hair. The main beanie is already done. I used some very soft yarn for it, but it doesn't really have all that much pull to it, so I've really had to mould it to her head, and it is going to sit this way on her head, so like a traditional beanie would sit like that, with the forehead here and just over the ears, where this one is going to sit more towards the rear of the head, so hairline will just be here. So that's how we're going to plan it. I have my hat stand to work off. As I said, we're going to be doing this all in blue, and I have gone through and picked out all of my blue yarn. Going to be working in a size 12, let me just see that, yeah, 12mm hook. It's very rare I work in these large scale hooks. Normally the largest I'll go up to is an 8. So we're going, with us working with a 12mm hook, it means that for standard double knit yarn you would actually need about 6 threads altogether. And obviously if I'm working with this fluffy yarn, I've got to adapt that. So this fluffy yarn is about 2 strands of double knit. So depending on the size of the yarn that I'm actually working on will determine how many strands I am using. I've already worked up one of the buns for the hat, and as you can see here, I did actually use 7 strands of yarn because this very pale blue here was thinner than double knit, and it took 2 strands of it to bring it up to double knit's thickness. The sphere has been done on the round and it's increased by 6. These green stitch markers indicate how many increases I did. Then the pink were the rows with no increases or decreases, and then the rows below that were the decreases. And I am going to be putting a bit of stuffing in as well, just to give it a bit more rigidity rather than bulk, because obviously we don't want the hat to be too heavy. So we're going to make the second one of these now. Right, so going forward we have 5 strands here to start the second bun. We've got 1 strand of fluffy yarn, which is equal to 2 strands of double knit. We have 2 strands of double knit with some glitter running through them. I believe I just dropped that. And we have 2 strands of this pale blue yarn. It's going to be a bit of a contrast to this one. It has a few threads of dark yarn going through it, but I have ran out of that blue, so I can't really go back on it. I'll try and incorporate some sort of balance with the colours when it comes to the hair strands and the plaits. Do 6 double crochet into the magic ring here. Row 2 is an increase in each stitch all the way around, so that takes our stitch count from 6 to 12. Remember, when I say double crochet, if you follow US terms, you are single crochet. Because we're at the end of row 2, I'm going to show you what I do to secure a magic circle. So I've flipped over to the back, and I am going to work through loops of the stitches with the magic circle, just working back over myself in a standard running stitch around the back of these stitches for as much yarn as I have. We're working with thicker yarn, especially with these fluffy yarns as well. I just prefer this way to secure them. Normally all I'll do with simple aragawami piece is work my yarn into the next stitches to secure it all the way around, but this I just feel gives it a little bit more stability. Round 3 is a increase followed by 1 double crochet. So I've got to mention, if I say increase, or practically any pattern says increase, it simply means 2 of the stitch you are currently using into 1 stitch. Now if you have one of my written patterns, I'll actually state if it's a different stitch than a double crochet stitch, but some patterns don't. It's just something to be aware of. This video is really turning into really a tutorial type one, isn't it? Okay, end of row 3 takes our stitch count up to 18. Now moving on to round 4, 1 double crochet, an increase, then follow with 1 double crochet. This is the pattern that I'll now repeat all the way around. Now instead of doing the 2 single crochets together, I've separated them. This just helps give your work, whether you're working on a flat piece or a spherical piece, it just helps spread out the increases, because a lot of times when you are working on the round, if you keep your increases stacked on top of each other, your piece can end up looking very hexagonal. Rows 5 to 8 are just 24 double crochet all the way around, no increases, no decreases. One of my pale yarns has to its end, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to incorporate just a single strand of this very dark blue yarn. It's almost I wouldn't say navy, more maybe getting close to a blueberry blue. This is looking quite pale in comparison to this one. I'm just going to incorporate a bit of this blue. We are at our first decrease row now, so we do 1 double crochet, a standard decrease, followed by 1 double crochet. Remember, single crochet for your US terms. So we've took 4 stitches down to 3 stitches, and we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. Okay, second decrease round, doing 1 double crochet followed by 1 decrease, and we're going to do that all the way around, followed by our last round to complete this little bun, which will be 6 decreases all the way around. Right, I am not going to close and stuff these just yet, because when all of the hair pieces are done, I actually want to weigh this to see how much yarn I've used. I'm generally curious, and I'm really rubbish at guesstimating my yarn. You know, prompts to all you crafters out there who can do it. Right, hair strands. I've already made a few of them. So I'm now going to make one of these hair strands. It's a chain of 71 with triple crochets running all the way to the end. That's double crochet if you're US terms. Then traveling back down to the tip of the hair. The last 6 stitches are 3 half trebles, 3 doubles and 3 slip stitches. So in US terms, that's 3 half doubles, 3 singles, 3 slip stitches, and that's all it is. And because we will be plaiting these, I don't need them any wider, and I need 3 for each side, and they'll sit underneath the buns, which I think are going to end up sideways like this. So there's one, and let's get the other 5 done. Okay, starting on a hair piece, I am going to use 2 strands of the tinsel yarn, as it's blue and I want to use it up, but I hate using the bloody stuff. I'm going to use 1 strand of this darker yarn, just to give a bit of colour variant, because I'm going to have to use 3 strands of this very pale blue because it's all I've got left. Hopefully using so many of these strands together means that this tinsel yarn won't cut my fingers open. Here's hoping. Chain 71. I'm going to skip the first 2 loops from the hook and start with the 3rd loop from the hook and working a full row of trebles. That's UK terms, doubles if you're US terms, all the way down to the bottom, where I will chain 2, turn and work up until the last 9 stitches. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Right, so that has come to 700 grams for the add-ons. Let's have a look at the beanie itself, and the beanie itself is 73 grams of yarn, so we're talking just shy of 8 full balls of yarn there. Okay, construction. Try not to stab your brain.
I was going to mention that.
They're not. Oh, really?
Well, that bit will all be tucked in. Chin up, chin up.
Wait, is the hat done?
Near enough. I just need to assemble it. That's why I'm doing it on your head here. And so these bits will be plaited right there. Creative camera work by the eldest. Yeah, so there'll be stuffing in these bits. So they'll poof out a bit more, and then say all of these straps will be sewn on. Yeah, it's very long, but they'll get shorter when they're plaited.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of you have been asking me where I get my lovely long pins from, and it is from this website, Black Band Upholstery Suppliers, and here's what you search for. These are really amazing for constructing your origami. And here is the finished hat. You can definitely see that it is related to the previous two, and simply the biggest change that's been made apart from the buns is the thickness of the yarn. It seems to have worked really well and given the hat a much more fuller feel to it. And here's Twin 2 modelling it. The AI software did not help in the end with the design process, but a lot of that could be down to me not really knowing how to use the program. If you'd like to find the pattern for the original hat, it's called the Wednesday Adam hat, and you can find it on my Ravelry store. All you'll need to do to get this hat's effect is take your hook size up to a 12mm and follow the additional instructions that were in this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for bearing with me with my editing, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, YouTube.